Glenn Beck program.
It is a new era. Yesterday, in case you didn't hear and you were tuning in for the first time today and you don't know what's going on with me, I'm sorry to waste your time with something, but if you're a fan or you have come to rely on one of my many branches of my business, that being Fox, we announced yesterday that I will be transitioning at Fox. I am going to remain with Fox, producing some specials. I don't want to get into any more detail than that. We are still going to be working together. We signed a new deal with Fox. Beyond that, I am not going to be doing the 5 o'clock TV show for very much longer. That will be transitioned out of at their convenience. I have told them that I will work and I will honor my contract and do everything that they would ever need all the way. I am not only respectful of Fox and what it is the most powerful name in news, and that doesn't mean in America. That is in the globe. There is no other news organization like Fox. It takes all of the media to gang up on Fox, all of them, to, I guess, make their ratings grow even higher. It is amazing to me, the juggernaut that is Fox News. I said to somebody the other day, I said, I know who I am. And I know how difficult it was to get people to listen to, hey, the stock market is going to crash and something's not right with the banking system. I remember how hard that was to get anybody to listen when I was over at CNN. And I don't have any illusion to think that I'm anything other than the guy I was when I first walked through the door at Fox. And I know as the door hits me in the butt one day that I will be that same guy. And I know who Fox is. I know who Roger Ailes is. Roger Ailes is a guy who, if we didn't have Roger Ailes, we probably wouldn't have had Ronald Reagan as a president. I so honor his service to his country that he has just done because he's a businessman and that's what he does. And he's done an amazing thing for our country. I don't know, honestly, if we would survive as a country. I don't know if we would still be the United States of America if it wasn't for Fox News and Roger Ailes. The people that have been there all of these years holding down the fort. Bill O'Reilly has become one of my good friends. Don Imus, a legend, has become a good, dear friend of mine. My floor crew yesterday, and I mean, the show's not over, and I'm not going away. And when I talked to the floor crew yesterday, we all kind of teared up. Okay, I cried, they teared up. I love these people. They are some of the best people I have ever worked with. They are just amazing. We're good friends. With that being said, it's a new era. I want to talk to you frankly here, as frankly as I can be at this time. But you are a good friend of mine. I hope that you have come to know that I try extraordinarily hard to never dishonor myself. I am a guy who is a work in progress, but I try really hard. And I know what time it is, and I am willing to serve for the freedom that I have already enjoyed, and most of it I just peed away, and for the freedom that I hope my children will enjoy. The reason why I went over to Fox in the first place was because I believed in what I was saying. When I was over at CNN and I talked for a long time I literally beat my head against the wall one day. The last day at CNN, I actually beat my head against the wall. I kept thumping it up against the wall, and I said to my wife, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. I can't say these things anymore, be ridiculed, they say that, my ratings, are you kidding me? When I was over at CNN, my ratings were horrible at first, and then they were the best that I think CNN had. Nancy Grace was a juggernaut. But other than Nancy Grace, there was nothing over at CNN Headline News.
Up 170% from when we took over.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was an amazing time, but I'm telling you, pressure from my own staff to say, shut up. Nobody believes this. Nobody thinks that this stock market is going to tank. And I couldn't do it anymore. And the stock market had tanked. And then people wouldn't listen to the next step. And we were going to have what we have now. And I didn't want to. When CNN offered me a job, I turned them down. I said to them, the first words in my mouth, this is going to be the shortest meeting in television history. I'm not interested. I don't want to do cable news. I remember the executive sitting at the table, and he said, why? And I said to him, I should have been more polite, but I said, have you watched cable news? I have no desire to do it, didn't then. If I was going to do it, and I felt I had a message that was important, the only place to do it was at Fox. That was it. Still is. I have been feeling for quite some time, draw in your nets. I've told you, move on. Your friends don't get it, move on. We've done everything we can. I've told you about the Titanic, and it is our responsibility to build lifeboats for others. I have tried over the last year, over and over and over again, to pull out and not be what cable news has to be. I am, in the end, an employee of News Corp, and I cannot, nor would I even think of doing something that would hurt their business. I must do the things that I believe, but I also must balance those with the news of the day. And when you start to balance those things, it only leads me one place, to tell you how our country is being destroyed. You know it. And so as I've been telling you, move on, move on, move on. It's what I've been saying to myself. Move on, move on, move on. Fox has done such a great job of covering the news of the day and making sure that they have bought us possibly years of time. And I wish them well. I will stand by their side every second. I will do whatever I can to help in any way they would ever ask me to help, because I believe in them. As I said to Roger Ailes, I believe they are important. If Fox goes down, I don't think the country survives. All those on the left will say, oh, he's being overdramatic. That's fine. That's what I believe. There are really 3 lines of defense, and they're all under attack. The internet, talk radio, and Fox News. I will tell you, anybody who thinks that Fox News is going to bow down to pressure has no idea who those people are. They are fighters. They believe in the truth and free speech, as do I. And we will go down swinging. So anybody who is having that cross their mind, you might want to rethink that. See what you think you really know. I believe that we are in a time now where nobody needs followers. When I met with the people at Meetup a couple of weeks ago, they were in my office and they said, Glenn, look at what happened. You have changed community organizing because you're not involved with this. And look at these. They were talking about how Oprah had done something, and even Oprah, when she was on her show in the last, the last phases of her show, she tried something, and it happened, but then it all went away. This movement is moving forward. And they said, if you could find a way, and I said, no, excuse me. I am not interested in followers. These people are leaders. They're not looking for me to lead. They're not looking for any of that. They must be strong in their own selves. I'm a guy who studied the Tides Foundation. Most people don't even know what that is. I do. I have spent the last few years studying Tides, studying the left, studying George Soros. I know how they work. And because I know what they've done and how they work, I know where the skeletons are. I know where the bodies are buried. I know how they move. I know it. I can predict them. How do I have the record that I do on the things that I talk about? I have a very high batting average of getting things right. How? I'm not some prophet. I listen to their words. I can anticipate their moves because I know how radicals think. Because I've read their words, I take them seriously. I will tell you that Dale Rathke said about me, Glenn Beck is maybe the only one who gets it. Van Jones has said similar things. Oh, and I'll tell you the same thing about them. Oh, they know what they're doing. And they know I know. That's why they've worked so hard to try to destroy me. And every step of the way they try to destroy me, I only grow bigger. Only because the truth shall set you free, and the American people are not dopes. Every time I have tried to change, I get drawn back in. One of the most frequented phrases from almost every weekend and definitely every vacation I come back from. Guys, I'm clear. I'm very clear. Don't let me get off this path. And within 2 weeks, I'm off that path. Now, I am riddled with ADD, but part of that is because I'm doing a cable news show. I can't do that. So, what am I going to do? Well, I will give you a thumbnail of the bigger picture, and I'm going to ask you to trust me. I asked you to trust me when I said the stock market was going to tank and it was approaching 14,000. I asked you to trust me on gold when it was $700 an ounce. I asked you to trust me that food prices were going to go up because inflation would go up, and we were burning our corn for fuel. I asked you to trust me that Tunisia would be the Archduke Ferdinand moment in the Middle East, and unrest and revolution would spread, and regimes would topple and fall into the hands of Islamic extremists. I asked you to trust me when I said Van Jones is a communist 9/11 truther. I asked you to trust me when I was just on the radio and I went to CNN and everybody said, "You are crazy." I asked you to trust me when I left CNN. I ask you to trust me now. Trust me. Please. I am very aware of what time it is. I told you, I think about 3 months ago, I'm going to be making some moves that people will not understand. But trust me. I don't ask for your trust very often. I am today because I don't want you to lose hope. Trust me. I'll give you a thumbnail of what's coming up in just a second.